Welcome back to another episode of Life and Pinstripes. I'm PG Stoltenberg.
James Evans is back and better than ever.
And this is episode number 47.
Gumby! Jordan Montgomery.
What's his nickname?
Gumby.
Gumby?
Yeah, like Gumby, the big green thing.
That's because he's just tall and lanky?
Yeah, 6'6", like 220. Yeah, hey, think of it this way. He's probably our fourth starter.
We actually, unfortunately, are going to need him way more than we wanted to.
What do you mean, unfortunately? This is a good opportunity for him.
Great opportunity, but we'll get into that. We got a lot of Yankees stuff to talk about, a lot of ranting to do.
We have a lot of catching up to do, let's be honest.
We've been gone for 2 weeks. Let's get it. James had the flu. You had the flu?
Yep.
What was it, A or B?
Flu B.
Flu B. What does flu B mean?
Flu B is like literally the second worst. Besides flu A.
What does flu A mean? Like,
flu A is basically worse than flu B.
All right, so you had flu subsector?
B. Pretty much, yeah. I had the second worst case of the flu.
Wasn't the coronavirus?
No, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
By the way, James saw a stat today that randomly polled 38% of, was it Americans?
38% of Americans have stopped drinking Corona beers because of the coronavirus. Now, let me get this straight. What kind of society are we living in now? Coronavirus and Coronas are two different things.
The sad part is 38%.
That's almost half of the country. Think of it this way. This country consisting of 343 million people. Now, do the math. About half of that, it's like roughly about...
and I'm not going to call out the Midwest, but I'm going to call it the Midwest. I feel like it's like 52% there, and it's like in the cities and on the edges. In New York and LA, it's only like 20%.
What makes it...
That's just because information...
It just doesn't seem right.
Information hits the coasts first. New York, LA. And then, just like in the olden days, information eventually travels, and then there's those dudes in Kansas that just get it like a week later. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you're saying that the people in the Midwest are like one of those people who are always late to the party?
Yeah,
one way or another. That's okay.
A little bit. But I did some research on the coronavirus. People think it originated from an animal in Wuhan, China. Now, the animal name is a pangolin, if I'm pronouncing that right. It looks like a little mini armadillo, but it's used for meat and its scales. Now, it's from the scales that people think that now, it's not 100% proven. Tests are still being done, but as we see, more and more cases are coming through, so I'm just glad to see. Wasn't here in Connecticut yet, and your flu...
Let's keep it that way.
By the way, weird. Sickness, illness. Like, it's 2020, right?
It is 2020.
And it's remember like the measles and like the whatever.
The measles, the mumps, remember the chickenpox, the smallpox.
Remember that? Like, that was a thing, right? Like, back in the day, people were like, oh, be scared of illness. You know, that, like plague. That hasn't been an issue for like a long time.
And it's like now everybody is like freaking the fuck out right now. It looks like they probably have their little doomsday bunker underneath their house. Like I don't want to get the corona. By the way,
But it is paranoia. Yeah, people are paranoid.
Where do they get the name coronavirus? By the way, I feel like it's one of those names where they have a wheel spinner of names to call this disease, and that one just happened to be the.
They're trying to call it now COVID-19.
Yeah, they're trying to make it not so offensive to Corona because they're definitely
because Corona sales are definitely going to sue. But is this really the way we absorb information? Because honestly, it's the way I absorb information. I'm pretty lame and I'm pretty millennial-like, and so I know I don't pay attention to any of the details. Eventually, I know if it's important enough, it'll seep through all the ways, and eventually people will be talking about it at my bar enough. So I know, just filter it out. Eventually, oh, there's a case in Massachusetts now. Oh, there's a case out there. And I just, I have enough panic and fear in my own life that I don't need to have it on a global scale.
Think of it this way. We're in our 20s. This is the last thing we want to be thinking about right now. It's things like that where it makes me want to cut out my screen time, by the way, because it makes me feel dumber and dumber reading things like this.
We are. I really want to say the Gene Wilder thing, but I'll get into that later. I just want to say about sickness and illness, it is scary. I get it. Paranoia, right?
Pandemic.
It's an invisible enemy. People, I get it. Like, there's things you can fight, like guns and bullets and whatever, and you can see it, and it's a tangible, but then there's the invisible like, oh, this person touched that person and farted on that person and breathed on this person, but oh my god, like that I get it. It's scary. I get it. And for those who are a little more sickly and have a little bit more chronic illness or something else going on, you know, I get it. People that are the average healthy person are not they're not too worried about this. They're just kind of amazed at the global scale of this story. But it's been 2 weeks since we've been on. You had the flu. You had what, flu B, you said?
Flu B, yeah, pretty bad. The second worst case behind flu A.
Yeah. So you got knocked out. Then your sister, and Tati, I think you might be listening.
She's currently joining us right now, so...
Shout out to you. And by the way, shout out to my boy Bryce, who might not be listening, but hopefully he is. I will say, thank you for the fight information, by the way, Bryce. I only know anything about boxing or fighting because of what he told me. So, but yeah, it's scary, it's unhealthy. You got hit by it, your sister got hit by it.
It's like I couldn't avoid it, by the way. You had no idea how...
You have kids, by the way. He's an elementary school teacher, for those of you who don't know.
Preschool teacher.
Preschool, yeah. Young kids. Boogers.
Very, very young
Boogers
kids.
everywhere.
Boogers. Coughing. Snuts. Everywhere. The one thing I was worried about was getting sick again, because literally what I experienced was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had.
Real quick, talk about it. What actually physically happened to your body?
So what happened was, obviously, it started in Super Bowl Sunday, where I had a stomach bug, which was my second one in 2 weeks.
Right.
I ended up puking on Super Bowl Sunday, so I missed pretty much the entire game and the halftime show.
And not like the average American who did it from drinking.
No, it was from sickness and everything combined. And then I was out Monday. I came back on Tuesday. I felt okay. Then when I went on my break, I had the shivers. I'm like, uh-oh, am I catching a fever?
Oh.
Come back in, 102.1 fever. I'm like,
oh, damn. That is the absolute worst. The chills are the worst. Whatever it is, like the temperature gauge in your spine, your neck, your brain, I'm not sure. I'm not that great a scientist there. But when your body feels cold and you are hot and you are sweating, it's just so uncomfortable. You wrap yourself in 3 blankets, does not matter. You are frozen.
It's one of those things where I am naturally a warm person. When I get cold, either I'm stepping outside in 10-degree weather or I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
That's how I know that I'm getting cold.
And my girl, who is Brazilian, obviously, the temperature there a little bit warmer, she has been facing this winter. And by the way, it's been a mild-ass winter.
Yeah, it's been a very spring-like winter. It's almost like if winter just went and then winter. Or
there's been no snow. Like, we're here in Connecticut, for whoever you out there listening around the area. I know you know. There's been a few snowstorms, right?
Yeah, we've had I feel like we've had 2.
Where are the nor'easters? I was ready to gear up, and I was so excited to show my girl like a wintry wonderland of a winter and have her coldness and her pain and her suffering actually mean something. But there's been no snow to show of it. I feel like we have snowboarding. I wanted to do a bunch of things, and I can't do it.
We had a snow squall yesterday. There was a little bit.
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was the closest thing to snow, I think, in the last few weeks.
Yeah. It's been such a lame winter.
Yeah, you know what? I think I can live without the snow. I love snow, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful to look at. But my God, is it a pain in the ass to drive in it.
I get it. It's gross. Snow sucks, but I miss winter. I miss the 2 feet of snow where everybody gets snowed in. You have to go old school with your rations and food, and if you lose power, you got to use candles and heat and whatever. That is kind of cool. If you just have unlimited movie marathon day and have a reason to disconnect from the outside world, and then it resumes the next day. Everybody plowed, but we didn't really get to have that this winter, you know?
Yeah, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah. And you know what else is what it is?
Yankees baseball.
We're back!
I obviously have to do some punches because I'm very happy.
We're back, but friggin' A, Cotton. Friggin' A.
Where do we start?
Let's see. We're back. Baseball starts in 3.5 weeks. 25 days to be exact.
Now, should we get into what we got to talk about? Before the spring even happened.
Yeah.
we lost 2 of our pitchers.
Yeah, 2 of our...
Before the first game happened, we lost 2 of our pitchers.
You know, and it's not like Yankee fans haven't known about this life before, considering last year was
30 injuries, 39 different IL stints, yet 103 wins and a trip to the ALCS, but we're not going to go that far.
Yeah, and guess what? We're going to go farther this year, metaphorically. We're not going to go that far into that conversation. No. But what I will say is, Severino,
Okay.
First
of all, dude gets a contract, 4 years, $40 million. Pitched only 3 games last year. Is going to miss the entire season because he's got to get Tommy John surgery because apparently he got forearm soreness from when he's throwing his changeup. And apparently he was feeling this pain since the last start against the Astros in October.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell were you doing between October and February?
I mean, if he felt it back then, I mean, I get it. You try to slowly keep strengthening and recovering. I mean, he's a power pitcher. He's young, he's strong, he's a power pitcher, but like...
But still, though, it's like...
I get it. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna blend this conversation with the Giancarlo Stanton thing.
Okay.
So Giancarlo Stanton, who only had 52 at-bats last year.
He played only 18 games.
He has a grade 1 calf strain, 7 to 10 days. Okie dokie. But I can understand it a little bit more because he's got that power builder body type, you know?
He's a bodybuilder, in a way, in a baseball uniform.
And plus age, plus power, it doesn't really go very well in baseball. It is a war of attrition. It's a long battle, baseball is, especially 162 games. And by the way, I'm not a big fan if they shorten the season. I do not want that to happen.
Don't change it,
because the stats, the records are never going to be the same. Somebody's going to go hit 50 and be like, whoop-de-doo. Like, we'll never have known if he had the real record or not. So don't even come close to thinking like that.
No. Don't change the sport. But baseball, just stay the way you are, honestly.
But as I was saying, like, Giancarlo Stanton, bodybuilder mentality, like bodybuilder body, he's going to have to figure out he's going to have to do more reps, less weight now coming up because, yes, he's jacked. Yes, when he hits the ball, it goes far. But you take that, you come into Luis Severino, who, young, strong, but definitely more length, a little bit more whip in his body, in his arm, and his torque. I just, like, they're pitchers, man. You got to treat these guys like glass vases now. And I feel like I'm not seeing this on any other team.
No, it's us for some reason. I don't want to play the boo-hoo us and all that, but this is concerned. It's a little bit concerning. I know we still have a very good team. You know, obviously we got the young guys, but I don't think they're going to be ready for opening day. Like the Delvey Garcia, the Clark Schmidt, the Michael Kings. I don't think they should be ready for opening day. I think they should spend a little bit of time in the minors before they come up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I get it. It's a long season career. Baseball is just a lot. And believe me, I was tired after just playing like AAU. Like, I was done at the age of like 17, 18. Like, I was spent already. And so I get it. Like, these guys are going into their mid to low 20s. This has been their whole life since they picked up a baseball probably, you know? So I get it, but... Now we move to a James Paxton story.
I want to like you, James Paxton.
I love you. I love your fight, your grit, and knowing that he started feeling this pain in the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, remember that start against the Rangers he had last year? And I think he pitched like an inning, and then he got like...
The final regular season game.
Yeah, final regular season started, yeah.
We were like, ooh, that didn't look very good. Like, right before the playoffs, so I was like, but don't worry about it.
But then he came back, and he actually... did well in the playoffs.
Did well against the Astros, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can't be too upset, but it's a rare type of cyst that affects discs in the spine. So, microscopic lumbar discectomy? With removal of a peridiscal cyst.
Now, this is where we need a nurse who can explain this to us.
Yeah, I have no idea what any of that means. Basically, it means...
Long story short, he got surgery. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. We're not going to see him until possibly May.
Gross.
I know, it's like...
So, what does our lineup, our pitching rotation look like?
So basically, you got Cole at the start. Tanaka's our number 2. You got Happ number 3. And I have to say this. Thank God they did not trade him, by the way.
I know.
Thank God they didn't do that.
And J.A., like my dad said that J.A. was not injury plagued. He was plagued by the home run last year.
Oh, he gave up. Like,
when he made a mistake, it went a long way.
He gave up like 35 home runs last year.
So when that can be tamed down a little bit, the guy is actually going to be solid. For
I
us.
think he can do like 12 to 14 wins, ERA maybe slightly above 4.
Now remember, he was at his prime when he was on those Phillies teams that were in the World Series.
When they went to the World Series that year, yeah.
Like the Ryan Howard years, the Chase Utley years.
Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino.
Yes, Flying Hawaiian.
Yes.
Those were great teams. But that was when J.A. Happ was at his prime, right?
Yeah.
So we had got him, what, now almost 10 years later?
Yeah. So he's like about late 30s, around there.
You can't hate it.
I mean, obviously he doesn't have the fastball velocity of a Luis Severino, but he was actually pretty strong in that second half last year. Maybe he can carry it on. And his first spring start, he was actually pretty good.
Yeah. And obviously it's early, but just trying to not get injured is kind of goal number one right now for the New York Yankees.
Guess what? We haven't had an injured Yankee today, so we're off to a good
Today was a good day.
Today was a good day.
Especially since we played like 4 games. We had a split squad. We had half the team over here. We had half the team over here. And
nobody got injured.
And we had Davey Garcia pitching over here. We had 3 different games going on all at once. We won all 3 of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the Davey Garcia game, but I'm just saying.
The point is that
injuries, question marks. Now, there's Aaron Judge. You know, it's like face of the franchise, like you were saying. Dude, what's going on? I see you on the bottom line of ESPN and something about torque and reps and this and that. I don't know what's going on.
I think the Yankees training staff should introduce them to something called yoga.
Hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
As you were
something
saying.
to relax the muscles. Something to help them get flexible to prevent all these goddamn injuries. My goodness, I've never seen anything like this. It's like a fucking hospital for old people right now.
Like, exactly. And I'm looking at it. It's like, okay, we did the next man up thing so we know it's possible. Are we just being too careful because we can? Because our lineup is so nasty that we are able to still win 100 games with playing the next man up thing? But guess what?
That happened last year.
Like, as a fan,
I want our team back. I want nobody to get hurt. This is possibly our starting outfield for opening day. It's probably going to be Tauchman, Gardner, and Clint Frazier.
Oh, jeez.
Clint Frazier and I like him. I think his bat is great, but my goodness, you know how I feel about his glove. It's like a mishmash.
I bet you he worked on it, but still.
I still get worried, by the way.
I like Clint's bat. You know, I loved watching Path to Pinstripes, and I loved watching Clint Frazier, like, just be humble.
I like watching the Yankees magazine, like when they talk about like the road and all that.
Yeah,
exactly, kind of like
Path to Pinstripes. Yeah, like the players,
way,
like they showed a lot about Davey Garcia working Double-A, working his way up to Triple-A last year.
You kind of realize how likable these guys,
these guys are.
Exactly.
You know, and these guys are in it. This is their grind. This is their Monday through Friday. You know, so it's like, I respect it, and Clint Frazier, he learned his lesson. I think I
think he understands that this is obviously.
He's aware his bat is good enough to be in the MLB, to be in the show.
He's definitely got it. I wish he was a lefty though. That's
his head and his mind will come into it with his body and glove. So that will fall into place and be fine.
He's got the perfect role models for it. Aaron Judge. Think of it, Brett Gardner. You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, when these are role models, like they are role models, they're examples, but they're his teammates. They're like what he sees as equals. He rose up the ranks with these guys.
Yeah.
So he is and has to act like one of them versus like, you know, somebody looking up. But he can look to them for examples of how not to do poor things with the media.
What not to do, because literally one little thing end's going to cost you.
You're going to make errors. You're going to do fielding things. But it's literally the pressure in your own head that is going to do everything to you do way worse things to you in baseball. So, like I was saying earlier today to my friend Bryce, baseball is a failure sport. 70% of the time you fail, you possibly go into the Hall of Fame. You bat 300, you go to the Hall of Fame. Pretty much. Kind of. Not really.
I got a quote for that's kind of like similar to what you just said.
Head into the dude that sent you something.
So dude, Keith McPherson, this is a shout out to you, buddy. He's got a podcast called Talking Nets, and I believe he's got another Yankee podcast called Pinstripe Strong. But anyway,
Pinstripe Strong?
Yes.
Okay. Pinstripe Strong.
Yeah. So this is the conversation that we had on Twitter today. He was talking about how he loves baseball, and this is what he said to me. The length of the game parallels to life. We don't know how long the game is going to be, how it is going to end. Same with life. We know the average game time, average lifespan. Things can change at any moment. It's unpredictable. The smallest little details can change everything.
And I bet you he's a supporter of not cutting games short or starting with runners on base.
Well, honestly, I think I stopped listening to Rob Manfred after the whole Astros thing.
But what I'm saying is, with what Keith was saying, is similar to what I was saying. It's a sport without a clock.
Exactly.
Right? In basketball, you know how much time you got. Even in overtime, you know how much time you got. That clock works backwards.
Football. 15 minutes.
Exactly.
All that other stuff.
Other than golf and tennis. No, I'm just kidding.
And NASCAR. Oh wait, they have laps. That's all.
And that works backwards, I guess.
Yeah.
But baseball, you got to give the other team their due. Now in basketball and football, if the other team's defense or offense is doing poorly, you can press and you can have, control of possession. You can have the ball for 40 minutes. The other team only has the ball for 20. But in baseball, each team gets equal licks, 9-9. That's something I love about it. I think Keith is speaking upon that, and I'm not trying to paraphrase what he was saying, but it speaks upon what I was saying. Like, there's no clock. You got to give the other guy his due. The pitcher has to throw the ball right at you, right across the plate that you're defending with a bat. So
pretty much, yeah.
It's not like you try to go around him, set a screen, run away, and try to shoot a three.
Nope.
Or same with football, you try to run away from the defender and just shake him off you. You are going towards people.
It's
in
basically
baseball.
Up there in your
And
mind too.
So
much mind control up there.
And honestly, it's something that wore me down faster than I expected in baseball. But it's hard because you're in high school. You get upset if you bat anything less than 500.
Of course.
And so I would be facing pitchers that threw the ball 68 miles an hour, and I'd be so furious why I couldn't wait back, and I was too anxious to go 3 for 4 with a home run and a double, a triple. The games I did my best was when my life was coming at a pace that was slow. I was receiving information, and I wasn't panicking. I was doing what needed to be done and only what needed to be done, versus trying to make things happen, trying to force the hand.
That's what I noticed with players and slumps. Like, I got a perfect example. Robinson Cano, during our time with the Yankees, great all-around hitter. But when he was in a slump, he would always swing at the first pitch.
Hit a hit. He did do that a lot. He was phenomenal, actually.
I loved him. I thought he was great.
When he was early, he did. He rolled over his hands. He hit a ground chopper to the second baseman or first baseman.
Yeah.
And he would it looked like he gave up on the swing, but he really was too early.
And then he like closed the stance, I think.
He's jumping at it. He was jumping at it. And that's the thing. When you try to force the hand, especially in baseball, you can't. You got to wait for it to come to you, even if it's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
No.
So, that being said, baseball
is back. 25 more days until opening day. Why are we wearing bandanas, by the way? You want to explain?
I'm honestly wearing a bandana because I am lazy and didn't get a haircut. And I've got hair growing in places I've never had before. For those of you who couldn't hear me, hair growing in places I've never had before.
I'm sorry, louder!
Ugly ass hair is what I have. So I decided to wear a bandana at work the last 2-3 days, and it's basically been dual purpose.
Yeah.
I'm a sweaty guy, and I serve a lot of hot wings to people. And honestly, the smell of buffalo wings and alcohol, and there's a lot of sweat going on. So this has been serving quite a good function for me for multi-purpose.
I just felt like wearing it too. I felt like we blend well just doing this.
Well, yeah, we have to have a theme here. And also, we were a little biker angry going on with the Yankees injuries, but we can't get too upset because baseball's back.
Yeah, you know what you look like right now? You look like the guy who be doing the Leonard Skinner cover band that my dad was telling me about. You be the guy to yell, "Free Bird!"
I love Freebird.
I love Freebird too. Remember the time when we were playing in the car and then it's like...
I just remember sleeping that car ride.
Yeah, that was when I was like your Uber driver at that moment.
Oh,
that was
good. That was good. But I will say this, I do look like a Leonard Skinner fan. But honestly...
I mean, they are a great band.
I thought Leonard Skinner was the name of a guy for the longest time.
Well, it does
I
make
thought a guy's
sense.
name was Leonard. Skinnerd.
Yeah, but
I'm like,
obviously it's not Leonard. It's Lynard.
But of course, he's a rock star, so why wouldn't his name be Leonard? Like, I thought Leonard Skinner was a guy.
You probably weren't the only one to think that way, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. And also, I wasn't the only one that probably made the funny comparison to
Okay, all right.
earlier. He was dead serious, by the way.
No, I said no. That's not true. That's not true.
You
no.
You didn't know his name.
I knew it was a Wilder.
He knew Wilder.
It was
but
the
it
wrong.
actually came out. He's like, Tyson Fury and Gene Wilder.
For those of you who might not know who Gene Wilder was, if you've seen the original Willy Wonka that came out in 1971, he was Willy Wonka.
I actually memorized like the entire movie. I've seen it so many times. I can tell you the first couple lines in the movie. Dun, 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 music happens. Literally, it's, hey, Mr. Joe Peck. He comes to the dude that gives him the papers to deliver. He's like, come along, Charlie. You're late. It's payday, Mr. Joe Peck. And he's like, here you go. He's like, say hello to your Grandpa Joe. Okay. And he throws papers over the wall and he does whatever. Like, I literally can, from beginning to end.
I just remember the scene when they're ready to go into the factory and he's like doing the walk, like
he's injured.
It was improvised the whole time.
Yeah.
That entire scene was improvised. I'm like, that was pretty damn good, actually.
And when you said Gene Wilder, and I pictured Tyson Fury, the mammoth, Goliath human being, heavyweight champion of the world currently.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder in a boxing match.
Look, we're human beings. We make accidental mistakes. So apparently
Blazing Saddles against Tyson. The
Blazing Saddles. Him that will always have movies with Richard Pryor.
There you go.
I almost said
Terrell Pryor.
Yeah.
That works. Terrell Pryor got a little fame there. But Gene Wilder was actually like, I was like, this man's a genius. I love his Willy Wonka performance. You're like, Johnny Depp, I'm sorry. That Willy Wonka was just too...
I'm pretty sure he was a child molester or a someone who would harass people. He was creepy.
That was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that came out in 2005. That made...
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
was Johnny Depp.
Did have a very pedophile-y kind of vibe.
Yeah. I'm getting like chills just like thinking about that right now.
Herman-esque, you know, like...
Don't get me started with Pee Wee Herman, what he did later.
I love Gene Wilder's, like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
He is Willy Wonka. He's the only Willy Wonka.
He literally was Willy Wonka.
Don't think about scratching the couch.
But I will say, hello, kitty cat.
Yes, that's... Sorry, breaking the fourth wall there for a second.
Do it.
Hi, dear. Hey, what's up? You know you want to jump up here. You know you want to join in on the live stream.
But Gene Wilder, he had belief in his eyes. Like, when he was selling the idea of, like, staying a child forever, like... That is something I can relate to and I can bite into. You know what I mean?
I own the movie. Do you want it?
You have it on DVD?
Yes, I do.
The original
The original one, yes.
I would love to take that home. Just for until next episode.
Until next episode, yeah. I can bring it.
Oh my god, dude. Because I had it on VHS.
Ah, yes. The great days of VHS. You put it in, you reverse it, you have to fast forward.
You know what I
everything.
just realized? I'm officially the guy. Because you said we're in our 20s earlier. And I'm like... My 30s are like right there. I'm still 29 for another year, but not even for 10 more months. But I just said I had it on VHS, and I just realized when people are doing, like when people in their 30s and 40s are saying that to me, like, oh, I had that on an LD, a 50 recording cassette tape,
those
Walkman,
things.
like,
yeah.
I'm that guy now. I'm officially, like, technology is just passing me by. I can't keep up, man. I can't. Like, I go, you logged onto my Facebook today to do this live video, and how many updates did I have? Or how many notifications?
You had like 65 notifications.
65.
Between the notifications, the messages, and the friend requests.
I can't keep up. Like, it's not that I'm popular, I'm not that great, but it's just, how do you do it, world? How do you follow all these social media things and like
I do it for this purpose, obviously.
I know, I get it to get views here and all that, but my personal issues in my life are big enough. Like, I can't contain the world's issues. Like, that's just too much, man.
Well, think of it this way: we're both trying to get our lives going. You know, sometimes the world is just very...
it's relatable. That's the thing I can use. So that's where I understand social media, where I can see it, use it. And my wedding was a tiny little service where we had me, my mom, my dad, and my stepfather.
Yep.
And then the Justice of the Peace. And we Skyped in as much as Hoffa's family that we could do. And that's where I understood how cool technology was. You know?
That's very beneficial because obviously it would be a very expensive trip to a small house in Connecticut from Brazil, right?
Oh, yeah. But it will be because we're going to do a service, an actual ceremony in like 8, 9, 10, whoever, a year, who knows.
You can guarantee that I'll be there.
Yes, you will be. And we're going to do one in Brazil, too. So
nice.
We will be doing that a year or two down the road.
So you're having 2 weddings, pretty much.
Basically. And we don't know government stuff. We don't know. We have a lot of questions still, but anywho,
yes,
technology was used in a beautiful way, and now I can understand where you can use it to fit the glue in the cracks, to kind of expand connections between groups of people that normally wouldn't. And it was a very beautiful moment. I will say, Hoffa's uncle sang us a song in English, and I cried my eyes out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty impressive.
It was called like "Love Is an Ocean," and dude, I bawled my eyes out. I just realized how big this moment was, and yeah, it was really cool, man.
Yeah.
So I ended my technology rant, but
it was okay. I was gonna do a little swoop in on technology.
What do you got for tech?
Those goddamn Astros. And then you got those guys.
Dude, I honestly think every player is going to get plunked once.
Okay, so
I think there's going to be a hit list, and it's going to be like...
There's definitely going to be like a tally mark.
Bregman, Altuve.
So far, 8 Astros have been hit in 5 games this spring. My goodness.
Sometimes it just happens because it's the beginning of spring training.
I know, but sometimes...
Dudes are getting the curveballs loose. They're snapping it off early.
Dude threw a curveball literally right at Bregman's back on a 3-2 pitch.
Exactly, so it wasn't intentional.
I know. So I wrote this. The spread of what's going to be happening all season, they think the Houston Astros are going to get hit 83.5 all season.
That is just over 1 every 2 games. Here's the thing.
I think it's good.
I say way under.
No, I don't.
You want to know why? Because take the bet, not for the whole season, take the bet for the first month. Because in the first month, they might get hit 50 times. But then people are eventually going to be warned
and tired.
Fines and tired. And fines are going to go out. Suspensions are going to go out. Problems are going to happen. Brawls are going to happen. They will happen.
I would like a good brawl.
There's going to be a player that's career or his friend's career got ruined because of the Astros. And they're going to let him know it. And so there's going to be brawls. But there will be enough warnings, I think, where Major League Baseball and the umpires and the Association of Diarrhea...
I agree. I slid that in there. I don't want to agree with you, but I would have to agree with you on that because I would definitely want to see a lot of Astros getting plunked because what they did, ruining careers, ruining teams' chances to a championship, that's unacceptable.
Like the Yankees.
A couple of times. I'm pissed that the Astros are coming to Yankee Stadium in late September. If I had the opportunity to switch, like I would have the Astros be the home opener, and they're facing the Toronto Blue Jays in the home opener. You could push them to September.
Imagine Garrett Cole pitching against his former team. But look at that, Garrett Cole like casually like slithered away, like
I know
because
he's a pitcher, like.
But Verlander even said he's like, yeah, I knew about it, shouldn't have done it, but like. Pitchers, you can't really blame. You know?
No, it's not their fault. It's the hitters that literally was. I'm sorry to literally change your complete subject on that beautiful speech on technology.
No, but that's the whole thing about technology. Like baseball, like
it's good. It's good for some things.
But yeah, that's my point, though. You just brought up my point even better. Like technology, like it's passing me by. Like the fact that a Major League Baseball team had a defense against the dark arts, or what was it called? What was their group called? It was the sign stealing, the dark arts and sign stealing department, whatever they called it. Point is, you screwed up baseball a little bit. You're going to get punched in the teeth for the first couple of weeks of the season. Deal with it, Astros. Take the punches. But you know what you got to do? And I might be the only Yankee fan that might think this. Go out there and hit. Go out there and win some baseball games, Houston Astros. That will silence everything faster. If people are like, oh yeah, they're actually still good baseball players.
I mean, they are. That 2017... I don't think they needed to do all that shit.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
They didn't need to do all that.
Like they had
Altuve, they had Bregman, they had Correa, they have Springer, they had Verlander. It's like Why you needed that extra support?
Like, you got the chess pieces, man. So I'm just saying, like, go out, do your thing, silence the crowd that way. That's the only real chance they have.
Well, let's see what they do this year.
Let's see what they do.
That's all I can say.
Well, we could keep talking about Tyson Fury against Gene Wilder, but to be honest, we don't know dick about boxing.
I don't know. I just remember it was huge back in the 90s and 2000s. I remember
I will say this is since Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson.
Yes, Mike Tyson.
It's ironic,
the guy.
Tyson.
You know the guy that bit the ear off of what the hell was that guy's name?
Evander Holyfield?
Yes, him.
It might not be. But
it sounded close enough.
We were talking about boxing as a nation since Mike Tyson, and Tyson Fury and and Deontay Wilder brought that back. A great point that I'm not going to take the credit of. My boy Bryce said this. He's like, dude, Tyson Fury figured it out. Watch Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, even Teddy Atlas, boxing analyst, said, when Deontay Wilder connects, it's over. Like, when he has the most powerful punch in boxing in the world. So he knew he connected on Tyson. Tyson, like a zombie, he got up and he survived it, which was very interesting. But Tyson realized if he comes at and walks Deontay back, aggressive offensive boxer doesn't really kind of know what to do when he has the offense done onto him. So that's my boy Bryce. Shout out to that. I paraphrased. I know nothing about boxing, but what I will say is I hope those two fight again, because I wasn't really paying attention, but it looked like a great fight. The highlights were really cool.
Whatever you just said, I'm going to agree with you all the way, because I do not know anything about boxing. But look at you, Bryce. You are more popular than Bryce Harper on this show right now.
Let's go, baby.
Keep it up, man.
And there's more stuff to come. XFL, I'm digging it right now. All I got to say is love the fact that there's 1, 2, and 3-point conversions, and love the fact that you can hear and listen into the coaches and players' conversations and the communication in between all the things that the NFL and the fans are always wondering and wish they could get that first-hand access to. That's happening in the XFL. Major props to XFL.
I think I saw a ref threw a flag. A player took that flag and literally threw it right back at him.
What I will say is this. Before we end this week's episode, New York MetLife Stadium, the battery went low, so that's why.
Yeah, I know. That's why we gotta get.
Long story short, New York Guardians, the XFL team, has won 2 games this year.
Yes.
The New York Giants last year won 2 games in MetLife Stadium. Thank you for listening. That's all, folks.
And abrupted. There, you know our social media. If you watch our show, keep following it. Thank you again.
I have to turn off the video now.
Go. Do it now.